better to be late than to be delayed. And constructive criticism is better than rather than making personality object of discussions in national development. We, as citizens, we can give constructive criticism to enable government to function well. This is State of the State, and my name is Taiwo Ibitoye. We've been battling with some technical issues, and we just have to apologize for coming behind schedule. But this evening, we are going to be talking to a development expert in person of Mr. Boye Oyewumi. He was once a special advisor to the governor. He was in charge of that popular name, Ondipa. And you know what Ondipa means? Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency. And now I'm being joined on the program by Mr. Boye Oyewumi, all the way from Lagos.
Yes, please. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Oyewumi.
Yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. I think the network is bad. Hello. Well, I think maybe he will join us later. But don't forget, things are taking shape in our political landscape. And talking about political parties, the ones that are notable are currently going to their convention, some in Lagos, some in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. But the citizens as well are looking at how they are going to ensure that they have their interests are well captured and protected by government, either that of the day or the ones to come. Let me again link up with Mr. Oyewumi in Lagos. Hello. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Anyway, our time is fast spent, but we have some highlights of what's going on the political landscape. The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Lagos had the Sonar Convention, and presently they are moving to Abuja for their national convention. You know, it is the season of consensus arrangement. We had it in Ondo State, and we had it in Lagos yesterday for the APC, and we don't know what is going to happen in Abuja on Saturday, but the delegates are on their way. But that is what we see now in Ondo State. That is issues that we is on the front burner in Ondo State. And we have other issues. The Amotekun calls, the other sister agencies are actually working hand in hand and ensuring that people in Ondo State are sleeping with their two eyes closed. Yeah, you want to say how? Well, they are making efforts every day, and you see that the Amotekun have been combing forest, and the other sister security agencies as well making arrests and confessions here and there, and that one is for when they want us to know. And don't forget that the security, the people, the community, residents in the community are now alive to their responsibility. You heard it from us yesterday that 2 people were arrested in Ogbagi, Akoko, in Akoko Northwest local government, who are trying to kidnap a 2-year-old child, but because of the vigilance of the people, they were arrested. And okay, I think I have a signal from Mr. Oyewumi now. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Hello. Mr. Boye Oyewumi is that brilliant child from the University of Maiduguri and Middlesex University in United Kingdom. And you know the man in charge of Onipa some years back, and I think he was the pioneer CEO and you can see Mr. Oyewumi there. And when the network is fine, we'll be able to talk to him and for him to tell us the efforts the government is making, the effort government is making in terms of development planning and what have you. But like what we're saying, we are talking about security. If you don't have security, if you are not well secured, it will be very difficult for development to take place. And like my opening message, that the constructive criticism is what is expected from the citizens rather than attacking personalities. It is when we give constructive criticisms that the government will be able to know what to do, and our opinion as well will count. But I think Mr. Oyewumi is battling with his device in parallel far away Lagos, because the network is damn too poor, and I know residents of Ondo State are equally experiencing that since maybe last week. But hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Are you there? Are you there? Well, I think we have to go on with these headlines that we are talking about. That the vigilance of the people of Obagiakoko actually assisted in foiling the attempt of two young men to kidnap a 2-year-old child day before yesterday, and we reported it, and it was reported in all the dailies, and that is the vigilance on the part, and that is what we can give, the support we can give to the security agencies, instead of blaming them that they are not doing enough. Also, we know that the state is wearing, the state capital is wearing new look, and there are some areas, like we discussed last week, that are still beckoning for government attention in the state capital. And don't forget, we mentioned the flyover, the first flyover in Akure, the state capital, that is the Onyarubulen stroke Shagari, where you can now say that it is now bye-bye to gridlock, and we want to say kudos to the state government for what they have been able to do in that regard. But we cannot but go back to the issue of security, because in this particular area we have issues of people from nowhere that we cannot even document that are living. You can see that on your screen. That is the Oyarubulem Akure flyover at Oyarubulem junction. But we want to ask the security agencies to please, as a matter of urgency, to ensure that that place is well monitored, because at night, maybe when the hello, sorry, are you with us?
Yes, I'm sitting here.
Yeah, the program is on. You are on live now. You are on.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Oyewumi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? So I think when the network is better, we'll be able to speak with me. Hello. Let's maintain this line. Let's maintain this line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome on the program, Mr. Oyewumi.
Thank you for having me.
Finally, because the network has been so riotous.
Yes, I'm so sorry about that.
No, we have apologized to our viewer, and I think we can go.
Issues of the country.
Yes, I think we can fix it. And I've told our viewers that we have the man we are having is a brilliant chap from University of Maiduguri, and then to University of Middlesex in UK. And your first shot at public office was when you were appointed. You can reduce the volume. Please reduce the volume of your set.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better.
Yes.
Yeah, that your first shot was when you were appointed as a special advisor to those state government some years back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, and your name then was synonymous to the agency that you have.
That's correct.
You still remember that?
Yes, I remember.
Oh, then I think the people in Ondo State were made to believe that the state was open for business, and the one that topped their priority then was bitumen exploration. But that didn't happen. What happened?
Well, it's not a case of bitumen exploration did not happen. Bitumen exploration is actually a medium to long-term project, and it's still happening. The last I know, last year they stopped when the rainy season started, because drilling rigs do get bogged down when they are doing their exploration. Now, what has happened is that I remember when I was special advisor for development and investment, and also the head of ONDIPA, that's Ondo State Promotion Investment Promotion Agency. Development and Investment Promotion Agency. We found an investor who is actually indigenous to Ondo State, which is why he was very fired up about it. But the issue with Nigerian bitumen is that there's no data as to where the bitumen is, what quantity of bitumen is in the ground, and the viscosity and many other technical aspects of the bitumen. There's no data. So we had an investor who's from Ondo State who was really willing to do all that. Ordinarily, in other climes, the government at the center will have all that information when you go to the data room. It's just like when they put oil blocks or marginal fields for sale, they already know what is where and what is inside and how it's going to flow. In the case of bitumen, nobody has done anything sensible about it, or tangible, maybe that's the right word. Now, what the investor is having to do is to go back. The last time I checked with them, this is just a couple of weeks ago, they had drilled 84 holes to know what level, at what depth is the bitumen, and what quantity can they get. Don't forget that they have licenses that span 3 local governments, but you don't just go drilling in 3 local governments. Find out what is where. Now, they've already done 84, but that drilling of 84 has to do in dry season. You cannot do it in wet season because the rigs, they get bogged down. They get, they almost collapse in why can't you do it in the raining season? So that is where they are now, where they now know what quantity of bitumen and the depth. The depth of the bitumen has to do with the level of technology that they will use, because they're not going for open pit mining. Open pit mining has environmental challenges, but people look at bitumen as if it's a mobile phone structure where you just put the terminals there and then you can get signal. No.
Mr. Yewuzi.
It's a very difficult terrain, but the investor continues to, and I know they have regular engagements with the governor to keep him informed about what is going on.
Mr.
And even though I've left office, my interest in that for bitumen exploration has not diminished.
But now you are no longer in government.
Yes.
But with your statement now, you are still monitoring the progress.
I'm pretty bound to, because one, I'm a citizen of the state. 2, it's in the Southern Senatorial District. 3, we have the largest deficit, and somebody has to. There's also the agency ONDIPA, who I'm sure are doing their bit, but it's a joint effort. Right. Whatever you can do in and out of government, you do until we get it. We get the bitumen off the ground.
Right.
Now, the bitumen is also tied, I must say. There's a local consumption of bitumen, but to make it bankable, there must be an export component, which is why the present governor, the past governor, and the past governors, even from the time of Miniko, they've been pushing for a deep sea port, because without a deep sea port, our bitumen would not get to the market outside Nigeria.
All right. Well, let me from that point ask you a very germane question, because what you have said is the foundation has been laid already.
They have been laid, yes.
All right.
The project has never stopped.
But is that why, because you are no longer in government, but are you now having it in mind that, okay, if I can go into government again, because with what we are hearing, you are coming, people are asking you to come out, go to Senate. Is that the basis that, okay, if you get to Senate, you ensure that Ondo State people get a fair share of what should be for them?
Well, the first thing I must say, government is a continuum. The present government continues to push the bitumen agenda. But I know that legislation is one of the vehicles for industrialization.
Yeah.
For example, the agency that I headed then was a creation of the legislative arm of government. So you can use legislation for a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of things to drive development. The president senator had a motion, and I think it was passed, a bill for bitumen commission. That's a welcome development. But beyond the granting of that, it needs to be energized. Now, any senator going in must have the background to the bitumen business, must be able to follow on from what from the commission that was set, because it's one thing setting up the commission, it's another thing energizing it so that it goes into fruition, it acts, it does something about the bitumen exploration. If bitumen were petrol, they would have given it all sorts of commissions, all sorts of investment incentives. But I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But for it to come out of the ground, a lot of incentives need to be given to the investor. So I'm just doing my bit, but if I go to the Senate, it's going to be a priority project, because I have a 360 view of what the issues are, what needs to be done. In other climates, government assists businessmen where the risk potential is very high.
But are you seeing the federal government in that direction?
Yeah, not the state government. The state government has been given all the necessary support.
Right. Okay, like you mentioned about your function that actually mentioned too. Are you sure you are that close to your people that will enable them to say that you are the one that they prefer?
I am certain, because you see, most people employ passion, not certificates. The people of Ondo South specifically have enjoyed the benefits of the program of the last government and this government in terms of industrialization. They also know that I was a pioneer special advisor to government and investment, and the pioneer vice chairman and MD of ONDIPA. ONDIPA remains the legacy of any government of Ondo State. And being the pioneer MD and vice chairman says a lot. So for example, I keep saying, for the fear of repeating myself, that it had 3,500 people that were employed in the private, that is new jobs, I'm talking of recycled jobs. New jobs, those 33,500, please understand it, that is a multiplier effect. For everybody that has a job, there are 5 or 6 people who live off that salary. It's not just a case of just you alone and you go home with the money. So there's a multiplier effect. When I was in government, Oil Palm PLC was completely moribund.
Hello? Oh, we lost the audio there. Well, if we are able to join Mr. Boye Oyewumi again, but the time is far spent, and based on the fact that we'll be battling with the technical aspect of this program, but I want to say that next week will not be like this. Everything will be perfected, and we know that the network providers too will have mercy, so that the program can go on, can come and go smoothly. Well, until next week, when I will come your way, I want to say, continue to pray for Ondo State, continue to pray for Nigeria. Until then, I remain your host, Taiwo Ibitoye, saying goodbye.